What you see back there is a GMC3500 and a Lance 865. Today's video is going to be on the generator that goes with that. So the Lance 865, you've got a 12,000 BTU air conditioner, standard 1 battery with a charge setup for that. Microwave, I think it's like 800 watts, something like that. I'll have to double check that. And you know, everything's LED. It's fairly efficient for its setup. It's got a 30 amp plug on it, and it doesn't really require 30 amps. I'm like, even if you're running the whole thing, you're probably under 30 amps. A little work finding what generator was going to work for us, because that particular Lance doesn't come with a generator. Picking up this Westinghouse. I don't know anything about Westinghouse. You know, it's an old name. I'm sure it's been bought by multiple different companies over the years, and it doesn't really mean anything. It's just what they slap on their label. I bought this based on a review from another guy, and I'll post a link to his video. He did an outstanding job doing some side-by-side comparisons. Basically, the internals of this generator are not made by Westinghouse. They're not made by Cummins, Owen, or Generac, or other generator manufacturers. I don't know who makes it. It's probably made in China as far as I know. But Cummins Onan has the exact same generator they sell, and Lance recommends, and I think it's like the P2500, something like that, as this one. So same engine, same inverter, same display, same power output. So it's not running right now. Obviously I couldn't be talking if it was running. But basically the exact same generator. And they sell it around the 900 mark. This was $560 on Amazon and delivered within a few days. This thing's been awesome so far. I've tested it multiple times at the house. We live at 6,300 feet. Right now we're at 10,000 feet. I'm using it without any high altitude jet kit put in it. So it's got the sea level jet kit, and it was a little hard to start. It took me like 10 pulls to get it to start up here at 10,000 feet. And once it's running, it runs great. It smells a little rich, but the power output has been fantastic. It's only got the standard 120 volt plug with a little plastic cover on it. It doesn't have the 30 amp plug at all, so you've got to just use an adapter to get down to your standard, 20 amp, 15 amp style home plug. And this guy will run the AC without any problem. And I was able to run the AC without the soft start kit on it. So when we first got the camper, I didn't have a soft start kit. It would still run it. I mean, you would hear it bog down and stammer for a second, but it wouldn't trip the breaker. The breaker is supposed to put out 18 amps, and then it'll trip. The nice thing is, with the engine running, you can just reach down and hit the button, and it'll just restart power. We had tried one other generator from Costco before this one, and you had to actually turn the generator off and then refire it to get the breaker to trip or to reset. So this one's super nice. It'll just reset on the fly and you're good to go. What I figured out is you put about a half a liter of fuel in it, and you can run it for 2 hours, pretty much at top end capacity with the air conditioner and the little battery charger and the refrigerator going. So it's fairly fuel efficient. The digital display is really cool. I'll fire it up here in a second and run through it, but the display allows you to cycle through your power output, your fuel level, your amount of time remaining based on your fuel, and voltage. So you can see if you're having big voltage drops. If you overload, you'll get a red light here. If you're low oil, you get a red light here. You can also parallel them with other like generators without any issue. And then you got your USB charging port if you wanted to do something like that. This thing right now with the soft start on there, on the AC, I can run it in eco mode and then just fire up the air conditioner and it'll ramp up and do its thing. And it pulls about 1,300 watts at maximum, and then kind of settles in at around 1,100 watts, I think, with the AC running. But been real impressed, especially for the price. And it's a little loud. That's why I got this long extension cord pulling it away from camp. But for the money, you can't beat it. You know, if somebody steals it, I'm not going to sweat it. Whereas if you get a Honda generator and somebody steals it, you know, I'm going to cry for a few days over that. Pretty simple to run it. Flip that guy down to your choke. Just start pulling on it. Once you've got it running, flip it up to run. When you're done using it, flip it over to shut it down. And that's it. The thing's pretty simple. It's got a digital gas gauge, but also got a gauge in the top that, you know, a float that you can see if you wanted to use that. There's no app or anything that I know of for this one. I know there's a few others that had, you know, similar power that have an app. I think the Honda even has like an auto start where you can get on your phone with Bluetooth and turn it on, turn it off kind of thing. You know, you're paying a lot more for that. I would say for an entry-level 560 generator, this thing does really, really well. Not sure that it would run, you know, if you've got a 15,000, 18,000 BTU. Not sure it would handle those. Maybe with the soft start it'd be totally fine. The Lance camper we've got is fairly small, and you know, I think it's the 13,000 BTU Coleman rooftop air conditioner. Runs that no problem. You can run the microwave at the same time. You can be charging the batteries at the same time. Run your water pump. The only thing that'll kick it off is if you try to run your electric water heater at the same time you're running your AC, and that'll just overload it. So that's pretty simple. You just run your propane water heater if you got to run your AC, or shut your AC down and switch over to your electric water heater if you're out of propane for some reason. Been real happy with it. I'll be happy to answer questions in the chat section, and probably will add on a little segment after this with it running, showing you the gauge there. But it's a little hard to see because it kind of rolls and flashes when you're trying to use a camera to record it. All right, thanks. All right, that's it running. I had it running probably 3 hours ago, and so when I came back to it and just restarted it, it did start on the first pull, so that was nice. There's that gauge. Looks like it's currently set to run time. This is telling me at the current wattage, this is how long I got to run it. That's my current power output. So power output is 1,100 watts. Essentially it's charging my battery because we've been running the camper on battery for several hours. So there's a pretty steep curve with the battery charger once you run the battery down some. I was able to add the air conditioner earlier while this was running with the battery charge about this. The air conditioner really only added another 600 watts, which was weird because if you run the air conditioner by itself, you're looking at about